When I was 6, my younger sister Phoebe died in a drowning accident in our neighborhood swimming pool. I remember her little laughs, her silly jokes, and playing house with her the most. We especially loved playing dress up, and Cinderella was always Phoebe's favorite costume. After Phoebe died, I cried a lot. I was very angry and very confused at the time. I didn't know how I could go through my life without her. She had been my constant companion. My brother Luke and I started at Ellie's Place Ann Arbor soon after Phoebe died. We were both in the early elementary group together. At first, I was unsure about attending a grief group because I thought it would feel uncomfortable to share my feelings with people I didn't know well. To my surprise, it was the one place where I actually felt like I belonged during that time. It was comforting to know that the families, volunteer facilitators, and staff at Ellie's Place understood how I felt. Some kids in our group had a sibling die too, so they truly knew what Luke and I were experiencing. The early elementary grief group provided the safe space I needed to work on my grief. Although we had a lot of support from friends, families, and our community, it was at Ellie's Place where most of my healing took place. Through crafts, games, and group discussions, I was able to talk about Phoebe and my feelings related to her death. These activities helped me process my grief in a healthy way, and I was able to feel less alone. The coping skills I learned at Ellie's Place are life skills that I still turn to today in difficult situations. I recognize the importance of talking about my feelings when I am overwhelmed or scared. In addition, I understand the necessity of empathetic listening when others are having big feelings that need to be shared. Today, I attend the University of Michigan School of Nursing. I want to become a pediatric nurse so that I can help children and their family in their times of need, just like Ellie's Place helped me during mine. Although Phoebe's death was tragic, I have become a more compassionate and empathetic person because of the grief work I did at Ellie's Place. I know it won't always be easy to be a nurse. Sometimes patients have unfavorable diagnoses and outcomes. However, it is comforting to know that Ellie's Place is in our community in case there is a need, and I'm proud to share my own grief journey and experience at Ellie's Place in order to help others heal as well.
You know, Katie, it's been 16 years since we lost your dad to a heart attack on a business trip. Jim was 46 years old when he died. He sold book printing for Edwards Brothers and traveled a lot. He was an amazing father, husband, friend, son, and brother. Most people would remember him for his smile and how kind he was to everyone. He loved to golf, play hockey, read, entertain, and be with his family. For me, going to Ellie's Place Ann Arbor allowed me to refine a sense of family. They were individuals who really understood what I was going through. We listened, talked, cried, and even laughed at times. We needed each other for strength and to get ready to take on the next day or week. We grew stronger. Ellie's Place was all I had. I could relax and let down. I was happy that I was hopefully doing something good for my 3 girls.
I'm the oldest of the 3 girls. My sister Anna and Jordan were 13 and 12 when my dad passed away, and I was 17. If you ask any of us what we remember the most about our dad, we'd probably say big bear hugs, a smile that lit up the room, dancing around the kitchen with him while standing on the top of his feet, outings for ice cream, family vacations, and how hard he worked to make sure we had an amazing life. All 3 of us loved him more than words can even explain. Losing him affected us all in different ways as we were in different stages of life. As a family, we decided to take the leap of faith and give Ellie's Place a try. I was in the high school group and met some wonderful people going through the same thing I was. When you lose someone, it all kind of blurs together. But when I look back at that time in my life, I truly do remember the friendly faces and comfort I felt. Time passes, and we've learned to move forward and heal, but even 16 years later, we have stayed in touch with our Ellie's family.
For us, Ellie's Place will always have a special place in our hearts, and I am so thankful that we took that step. We've come a long way, baby.
Ellie's Place Ann Arbor has been a part of my life for more than 10 years now. My mom died unexpectedly when I was 16, and a few months later, I reluctantly began attending a group at Ellie's Place. I didn't want to talk about my mom. I didn't want to talk about my feelings. I just wanted to pretend everything was okay, even though it wasn't, but I showed up and I kept showing up. Most of my peers at school had not experienced a significant loss. I felt very alone and isolated. Ellie's Place became a place where it was okay to feel however I truly felt, to be sad or angry, but also to laugh. At Ellie's Place, I was able to form connections with others my age who just got it. We laughed together, cried together, shared stories about our people who died, learned coping skills, and played some very competitive Jenga while answering Ellie's Place questions. These questions were opportunities to share about our people who died and our grief. One of these questions might be, tell a funny story about your person who died, or share about how you felt when you found out your person died. I had extremely patient and compassionate volunteer facilitators who listened caringly and validated our experiences. Now, I'm a proud volunteer facilitator at Ellie's Place Ann Arbor. The hours I spend there each week are one of the best parts of my week. It is a privilege to get to walk beside my group members as they walk through their grief journey, and I can only hope I make them feel as supported as my facilitators made me feel. I experienced the transformative Ellie's Place magic firsthand through my time as a group member. It is an honor to now get to serve as a volunteer, and I will always be thankful to be a part of the Ellie's Place Ann Arbor community.
Well, I think of Phoebe every day. When we're here at Ellie's Place Ann Arbor, surrounded by memories of connection and support, I can't help but think about the healing journey our family took together.
I remember I was just packing up at the neighborhood pool to take our kids home when I heard someone yelling that Phoebe was under the water. It had been chaotic that afternoon, with so many people swimming on the hot day. Then before we knew it, Phoebe was being pulled out of the water and the ambulance was being called. As our other two kids, Luke and Mia, watched their little sister be taken away to the hospital, they didn't understand how serious the situation was at the time.
The day Phoebe died was the kind of day that you had to be inside with air conditioning or outside in a pool or a lake. That afternoon, while I was at a resort up north, I got a frantic call from Matt saying that our 3-year-old daughter had been pulled from our neighborhood swimming pool and was unresponsive. Somewhere along the 5-hour drive home, I learned that the medics could not save Phoebe. I remember turning to my friend in the car with me and saying, how will my family ever survive this tragedy? In an instant, I went from feeling very blessed and happy into a state of utter shock and despair.
Telling the kids the next morning that Phoebe had died was the hardest thing we have ever done. They loved their little sister so much and did everything with her. They were devastated. Beth and I knew that we were all going to need help, but we weren't sure where to start.
We knew Luke, who was 7, and Mia, who was 6 at the time, would need immense support. They had been so close to their younger sister. Over the next couple of weeks following Phoebe's death, we had 3 people recommend that we call Ellie's Place. It was the hardest call to make because I didn't have the energy to think about the next steps moving forward. However, at our intake meeting with the staff at Ellie's Place, we instantly felt like this was a place where we would be cared for and where our healing could start.
We started at Ellie's Place a few weeks after Phoebe's death. Ellie's Place offered us a group in which we were able to talk to others in our same situation, as well as a place to feel as normal as possible during our grief. While Luke and Mia attended a group with other kids in their own age, Beth and I attended a child loss group. Although we were all from different backgrounds in our group, we bonded with each other and became close. There was nobody else in our own community that we knew who had experienced the death of a child. At Ellie's Place, there were several other families who we could talk to. There was even another couple who had experienced a drowning death, so they knew exactly how we were feeling.
We attended Ellie's Place Ann Arbor for nearly 16 months. It was there that we felt connected with others that knew our pain. We felt comfortable sharing our feelings with other parents that had lost a child because they had similar feelings and could understand. Together, we learned ways to cope and work on our grief.
We looked forward to going to Ellie's Place so we could talk with the other parents about our feelings and share memories about our child who died. Together with our facilitator, we developed ways to cope, heal, and work on our grief in a healthy way. We still remain in contact with some of our group members today. Despite the reason we started at Ellie's Place, I'm grateful my family had the opportunity to attend a program where we could feel comfortable sharing our feelings related to Phoebe's death. We still talk about Phoebe often, and we miss her every day, but we are all doing well and thriving due to the support we received at Ellie's Place.
Today, I am a facilitator in an upper elementary group every Tuesday evening at Ellie's Place. It feels good to give back and help families that need support after a death just like we did. I see progress each week in my group members, and I know that the safe space provided for them to share at Ellie's Place is helping them. The kids are connecting with each other, talking about their person's death, sharing memories, and even having fun during their activities. Nearly 15 years after Phoebe's death, I am still benefiting from Ellie's Place, and I feel a sense of belonging there. And this time, I have a new perspective and role.
We're so grateful to continue to have opportunities to support Ellie's Place Ann Arbor, the way they supported us when our family needed it.